going on, guys? It's your boy the Markham Knight here. Today's video is going to be all about WandaVision episode 5. Now for those of you who have not watched it yet, I would suggest watching that first if you are careful about spoilers. Otherwise, I will go into a recap and I will give you my theories, and then I'm going to finally conclude with the review not only of this episode but of the first half of WandaVision, because this is 5th episode in and there are only 4 episodes left. So let's start with the recap. So the first thing we see is that S.W.O.R.D. has figured out that Wanda is responsible thanks to Monica, and they make an attack at her. They don't tell Monica that it's going to be an attack, they tell them just to communicate with Wanda, but then they shoot at her. And then she comes out with their missile, tosses it back at them, and threatens everybody. So now we see Wanda has turned full heel to maintain what she has in here. She tells them to leave her alone and everyone will be fine. Otherwise, this is their last warning, threatens them completely, and says, kind of, let me do my own thing in here. Obviously, she has a full town captive, so it's not something that they're going to be able to let go. So we're going to see that develop more and more. But the next thing we see is that Vision discovers that Wanda is responsible for everything. He already had cues and stuff like that from Agnes, who didn't care that the kids went from toddlers to 10-year-olds, and the kids also went from babies to toddlers, but she sees that and she sees this power use and stuff and doesn't care about it, so that got him suspicious even more so, and then he fully figures it out once he uses one of the characters and he sets them back, and they kind of let him know that they're scared and Wanda's doing this stuff, so now he's figured it out and he confronts Wanda. So the final thing that's important to know in the recap is that we see Evan Peters Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. We see him join the MCU. And Darcy mentions that she recast Pietro. Now, she recast Pietro works in this storyline and it's a cool way to bring him in, but this kind of springs me right into my theories, because I want to ask, are there going to be any other X-Men here? Not necessarily X-Men the team, but are there going to be other characters from the X-Men universe? Are we going to get to see Magneto, who's her father and obviously Quicksilver's father as well? So are we going to get to see him in this? Will we see Professor X in this? It'll be really interesting to see any of this. My personal opinion, I think that we're only going to see Evan's Quicksilver in this WandaVision Matrix, in this Hex. Inside of the Hex, Quicksilver is alive, but I don't think outside of the Hex he would be Quicksilver anymore in the MCU. Now, the options are endless, because I do feel like the end of this show is going to open up the multiverse, because Doctor Strange is a multiverse story, Spider-Man 3 is also a multiverse story, so I do feel like this is going to open up the multiverse, and we might see a glimpse of the X-Men and stuff like that in the other universes and stuff. But I do feel like at the end of this, the mutants will be introduced in some form or another. How they'll be introduced, it could be a billion different things. So it could be a multiverse storyline that just kind of opens up everybody else coming into this universe. It could be something that once everything is reverted back to normal, she changes something. There are so many ways that they can do this, but I do feel like the mutants are going to be introduced at the end of Doctor Strange's movie. So there's WandaVision, and then following directly from that is Spider-Man 3, and then following from that is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I do feel like we're going to get the mutants at the end of Doctor Strange's movie. Now, as for Wanda herself, I do feel like she is going to, I feel like this is kind of confirmation, not necessarily confirmation, but we get to see her threaten a bunch of people. I feel like this is going to kind of hint even more that she's going full villain. And obviously, if you've read House of M, you know that once she came back and she was forced to change everything back, she yells out, no more mutants, and destroys about 96% of the mutant population. So something big is going to happen, and we're going to see, I think, Wanda square off with Doctor Strange in the Doctor Strange movie. I feel like she's going to be the main antagonist. She's going to be the #1 villain in that movie, and we're going to get to see something big happen there, and kind of complete the character arc for Wanda in the Doctor Strange movie. In terms of my review, I'm finally excited with the way these episodes are working. I've wanted the House of M storyline for a very long time, and now we're going to get to see more and more of that and less of the sitcom, but I do feel like it's a very good balance. I feel like the Matrix, the Hex, is being juxtaposed well with the actual real world of what's going on and everything, and even within the Hex, we're going to see more interesting things than just the sitcom life. in terms of how I think the first half of the show is, I feel like it was a really, really slow burn. I feel like they definitely could have cut at least 1 or 2 episodes worth of time, mostly the sitcom stuff. I mean, they could have introduced the sitcom and stuff and done that in just 1 episode. They didn't need to spend 2 episodes, almost 3 episodes, doing that part of it. But it was definitely a slow burn, but I feel like it's building up. And the second half is going to be really, really exciting because it looks like there's a lot of stuff that could happen here. Now, although I didn't like the sitcom format of The Matrix, I feel like this overall adaptation of the House of M story is an interesting way to go about it. I like the way that they did it. They did some stuff differently, obviously, because it has to fit their universe. And I feel like it's also exciting because the possibilities from this are going to be endless. They've shown that Wanda is extremely powerful and that she can do pretty much what she wants. So, anyways guys, did you watch the episode? Did you like the episode? How do you like the first half of the show thus far? Are you excited for things moving forward? Tell me what you think.
This is the Mark of Night, and I need you to like, comment, and subscribe.